Tom Stoppard's final play and the late discovery that reshaped his life. Tom Stoppard, one of the English-speaking world's most celebrated playwrights, known for setting dramas in Imperial Britain, Tsarist Russia, and Communist Czechoslovakia, often explored history, politics, philosophy, and art. And yet for decades, he avoided one subject central to his own identity, his Jewish heritage, which he discovered only in his late 50s. That silence finally broke with Leopoldstadt, which premiered in London in January 2020 and arrived on Broadway in 2022, winning the Tony Award for Best Play. It was the first time Stoppard confronted his own family history so directly, a personal reckoning on stage. The play follows the Merz family, an assimilated Jewish clan in Vienna from 1899 to 1938. But its haunting final scene jumps to 1955, introducing a character named Leonard Chamberlain, born Leopold Rosenbaum, who has grown up English and distanced himself from his origins. A surviving relative forces him to face the truth he refuses to acknowledge, mirroring the emotional journey Stoppard experienced himself. Chamberlain speaks with affection about England, the books, the radio, the seaside, and describes how completely he shed his earlier identity. Then he lists the fate of his relatives, nearly all of whom perished in Nazi camps. The moment is stark, unsettling, and deeply personal. Stoppard's real-life discovery. Born Tomasz Streusler in 1937, Stoppard fled Czechoslovakia with his family when the Nazis invaded. After time in Singapore and India, his mother remarried a British Army Major, Kenneth Stoppard, and brought her sons to England. Wanting to give them a simpler life, she downplayed their Jewish background. It wasn't until 1993, during rehearsals for his play Arcadia, that a German cousin revealed the full truth. Stoppard learned he was entirely Jewish, and that all 4 grandparents, along with many other relatives, had been murdered in the Holocaust. He wrote about this revelation in the years that followed, but it wasn't until nearly 2 decades later that it found expression in a play. A key spark came from Dasa Drindik's novel Trieste, 2012, which includes a pointed critique of Stoppard for learning his family history and then retreating into his comfortable English life. Stoppard later called this criticism completely legitimate, recognizing it as a challenge he needed to confront artistically. Blending research, memory, and imagination. As with all his work, Stoppard immersed himself in research. He drew on several histories, including Last Waltz in Vienna, Emancipation, and The Hare with Amber Eyes. But the emotional framework of Leopoldstadt was his own. One recurring image is the cat's cradle, a string game whose shifting patterns reflect how identities and histories evolve, yet remain connected beneath the surface. Stoppard saw in it a metaphor for family, memory, and the continuum of history. A career-spanning theme. Stoppard's fascination with fate, identity, and the invisible structures behind human lives runs throughout his body of work. From his breakout Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead to Arcadia and now Leopoldstadt. His final play returns to those obsessions, but with a more intimate weight, confronting what he once avoided. Limited by what was lost and driven by what he finally learned, Stoppard turned his family's erasure into art, and in doing so, wrote the most personal play of his career,